What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Properties and Pour-Overs podcast. My name is Adam Colburn, and today I have a very special guest, my buddy Liuver Sanudo. What's up, buddy?
Brother?
Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely. So could you tell the guest where you're located and what your business looks like currently?
So my name is Liuver Sanudo. I'm from Houston, Texas. Originally from Cuba. I came to the States like 8 years ago.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been in real estate for 6 years now. Six
Okay.
years now. I'm full-time real estate investor since 2022.
Okay.
So 2 years now.
Love it, dude. That's awesome. What are you mainly focused on? Are you a buy and hold investor? Are you flipping houses? Are you doing rentals? Like, what's your main?
Okay, I'm that kind of guy you can say that does everything, but now we cannot say that. So I want to be known by the to-go person for investors to go and invest their money and get ownership, returns, and of course long-term appreciation.
Got it. The one-stop shop.
Yeah, one-stop shop from A to C. So my team can find super discount properties. I will do the work, refinance, furnish it, and then also do the management.
Got it.
Again, every exit strategy and every acquisition strategy.
Yeah.
From the burst, buying cash, refinancing, the Subtos, any creative strategy, mortgage methods, seller finance, and also on the back end, Section 8, long terms, co-living now, Airbnbs, and a little bit of midterms.
Amazing. That's awesome. Are you mainly focused in the Houston market, or are you doing it in other markets as well?
Houston and San Antonio.
Okay.
Yes. Houston is so big that...
Sure. It's massive. It might as well be its own state. Yeah.
For real.
Cool. Well, so what did life look like before real estate? What brought you into the space?
Robert Kiyosaki.
Okay.
I love to read books, and I was kind of... so I came to the States. I'm a software engineer. That was my career.
Sure.
Software engineer, but I always liked to do business, even in Cuba.
Yeah.
Cuba is a communist country, for those that don't know about it. So the biggest business you can do there is like buy something cheap and sell it fast.
Sure.
So there's no capitalism system, right? So there's no banks, nothing.
Yeah.
So even there, I was watching and reading Kiyosaki's books. So I always wanted to come to the States and grow in business.
Yeah.
So even from the day one that I came here, I got my job, my W-2 as a software engineer, but started reading, meeting people, getting out there to get help. Literally,
chase that dream of getting into real estate. What was the breaking point of getting out of Cuba and coming to the States? What did that look like?
Okay, so Cuba is not, you cannot get out of Cuba because they have laws that even in other countries, if you go and ask for a visa, they will see you as a possible immigrant.
Sure.
So they will deny the visa. But Cuba, I think that they're doing it they do some sort of arrangement between governments that they let Cuban goes for a year. They open borders.
Sure.
So at that time was Ecuador.
Okay.
So we went with my wife to Ecuador, and because they have open border for Cubans at that time.
Okay.
They kept it open for 6 months. So you can imagine the
mass exodus.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So thousands. And the younger generations, all of them.
Wow.
And the professionals, software engineers, doctors, flocking out of Cuba.
So you became a software engineer in Cuba. We're working for a company there.
Yep.
And then had the opportunity to go to
Ecuador. Yeah, for a contract.
Right.
And then I came to the States kind of crossing borders.
Got it. Okay. Wow.
So the whole story, but that was going to be for another podcast.
Okay. Well, that's a wild story. That's really cool. And so you're in the software space. You finally land in Texas, and then you start networking, learning as much as you can, and then jumped into real estate.
Yep. So I think that I have that immigrant mentality.
Yeah.
I came from nothing, bro. So for me, every day here is like a blessing.
Absolutely.
Little. I love Tony Robbins that said that just by living in the United States, we're 90% richer than the rest of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
so that's why I hate people that complain about it.
Yeah.
So I always started looking for people who wanted to, that were doing real estate at that time. And asking for help, and reading a lot of books.
Simple as that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're just taking the action. Okay, cool. Well, so, I mean, that's a lot to learn, right? You're drinking out of a fire hose, and it's a whole different aspect, right? I'm sure there's some things that you can glean off of your software engineer background when you come into here, maybe on the systems and the processes, but it's a lot to learn, right? Especially when you're going after all these strategies. So I'm sure there's been some bumps and bruises along the way. Can you tell me about like a specific deal that went bad or some issue that you had to overcome as you were getting started and kind of getting to that first deal, your next deal, and kind of finding that lane that you're running in now?
Yeah, okay. And I can tell you, like, I had a lot of, I would say, failures, but at the end of the day are lessons, right?
Yeah.
I know that sounds cheesy, but it is true.
It's true, yeah.
When you win, you don't learn. So, and I found a pattern every time I fail is because I did something new without any help. Bro, and now I don't want to do anything new without help. Anything new, not even now in real estate, in my life.
Totally.
If I want to go to the gym, hey, I will pay for a
personal trainer
for at least a month, but at least those first steps. So I remember I was doing a lot of like fix and keep, like the burst strategies.
Sure, yeah.
When I started doing my first flip, I thought that I was the flipper without any flip under my belt.
Right, no experience.
So I failed big time. It's a totally different game.
Sure.
So on buy and hold, on the burst, you focus on the square footage, have nice stuff, but again, it's going to be a rental.
Mid-level, lower level, yeah.
I tried to do the same for a flip, and I failed big time. Almost got foreclosed by the hard money lender. But I found what now we call today Morby method.
Okay.
So I was like, I had a lot of equity in the deal. I was like 15 days from foreclosure. And it was my mentor. Yeah. My lender is like, Liuver, find someone or do something because I'm gonna have to foreclose on you. I have my investors on the back end that I have to respond. Sure. Do something. So I out of the blue, I found a friend in my W-2. Sure. I sold the house to the friend. Okay. He put 20% down. Luckily, he had that 20%. Yeah. And I gave him the 20% at closing, and we kept the property together. Nice. Okay. And we did a Morby method without knowing it.
Yeah, right. Getting creative, get the deal done. That's awesome.
And after that, brother, I've not saved, but I've helped more than 7 flippers in the same situation getting out of foreclosure. Right. From hard money loans.
Pay the hard money off, keep the property, turn it into a rental.
In that case, I split the profits. I told my friend, for you, you're going to get a property with 0 money down. Of course, you're going to put the credit. For me, you're saving my butt out of the situation.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm not going to make the 60K profit that I had planned, but at least I'm not going to lose. Yeah. And now we had a rental, and we're selling it on a finance.
Wow.
That property.
That's awesome.
And it happens also in my first innovation that I told you about.
Yeah. Nice. Well, you told me that off camera. You got to tell the story.
Okay, my first innovation, I thought that I was the creative investor. So I've joined at that time like Subto 6 months. I was doing Subtos, buying and keeping, buying and selling on a wrap. Sure. And I found this deal with a lot of equity. So the sellers have lost the house for an HOA, and the HOA foreclosed on them. So an investor bought the property for $80K. Right. So they came to me by a bandit sign that I was selling houses on a finance, literally crying. And they told me, we have enough equity, because they knew the numbers. We have enough equity in the house. We just need $80,000 to pay the investor, get the house back, and we will sell you the house. We will sell you the house. Right. They owe, like, the first lien was like 170. Okay. So 170 plus 80, 350, but the house value was like 500,000. Wow. Yeah, and it wasn't that such a big rehab. Sure. So I saw the numbers.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Makes sense. And instead, that was where I made the mistake. Instead of me doing a Subto flip, for those who know about creative finance, I did why spend $3,000 on a closing if I can do innovation, right? Let me do the work, let them hold the property, and I will give them the money after we close.
Sure. Partner with the seller rather than turning them into a lender. Yeah.
So what I learned about that in real estate, control is everything. Real estate and business.
Absolutely.
What happened with that deal is I didn't have the control because the sellers were the owners. Right. I paid the investor the $80K out of my PML. $80K. We did back the property to the sellers, and I started doing the rehab. The rehab went south from 40 to, it happens to 1 out of 100. So from 40 to 60, 70, because when you do innovation, I mean, you can do like a good title research. I didn't.
You're right.
Because I thought that I was the creative investor.
Right, you knew more.
The king.
Yeah.
And the sellers had a 40K lien, a hot lien that I didn't knew about.
Yeah.
So extra rehab, new 40K lien, and the husband, he committed extortion.
Yeah.
With me. He asked me for $15,000 to close the deal.
He would refuse to sign unless you paid him an extra $15,000.
He was not on the deed. He was not on the loan. Wow. But because Texas is a homestead state,
spousal state, yeah,
they need to sign. If not, they will not give you close the deal.
Right. Wow.
So I ended up losing 40K.
Yeah.
But I got out of the property again. Another mortgage method. I saved myself again. I brought a partner. He bought the property from me. I gave him the 20% back.
Right.
And we kept the property. And luckily, we find a buyer, owner finance buyer. He gave us $80,000 as a down payment.
That's incredible.
I lost 40K, but at least I'm going to make it back. Now I'm making like $1,000 a month.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and you learned a very valuable lesson on what to do moving forward.
Control.
Yeah.
And that's why for those who are checking this podcast, sometimes it happened to me previously. We see mentors or people that are ahead of our journey saying things that we don't do, but again, they're saying it for a reason.
Right.
It's like don't buy in the hood. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah. Those learning lessons, if you can glean them from the people that you trust, it'll shorten that timeline and help you avoid those pitfalls that they've already fallen into. But then when you kind of get a little big-headed and think that I know more than my mentor does, then you can kind of get stuck. And so, but I mean, there's a silver lining in that story that you're able to get creative, structure it in a way that you're not going to lose money. It might take a little bit to get the money back, but ultimately you're going to be profitable in the deal.
In like 6 years and a half, I'm going to get my money back.
Right.
I'm from there.
Yeah. But you live to fight another day. You know what to do on the next deal. And so.
And now I'm closing like 2 Subto flips.
Awesome.
Like the same thing you're doing.
Exactly.
Now I want control in everything.
Yes. Absolutely.
I learned my lesson. Also, trust people, love people, but contracts.
Yes.
That's another thing that I did really wrong there. So I was kind of
trust, but
because verify. I trust too much.
Bro, you're preaching to the choir.
I trust too much.
We've had a lot of things go very wrong this year because I put too much trust in the operators I was attaching to, which will be future videos for the channel. But well, that's awesome, man. So obviously we're here at the Owners Club Retreat, high-level mastermind within Subto. Pace is really pushing this idea of a Mount Everest, like this big goal that we're chasing the next 3 to 5 years. What is your Mount Everest? What's this big goal that you want to chase?
Yeah, I think that I shared a little bit at the beginning. Is like to be that person, be that to-go person for investors to go and park their money. And my company is like a white glove service. Yep. My company will do all the work. I will buy those properties with equity. Sure. It's not just Subtos. Those cash, now I'm getting into new construction.
Yeah.
It's like not being a syndicator, not raising capital with a fund, not yet, just to give them ownership.
Yeah, totally. Kind of give them a peek behind the curtain where you are the operator. They're investing in you outside of any specific deal per se, right? You're the one that's making the decision on what the exit plan is going to be, what the returns are going to be, and then just kind of doing it for them.
Well, in this case, I want to do it first per deal.
Sure.
I have done it like 4 times now, like previous co-workers.
Yeah.
They have like 40, 50K, and everyone's know that real estate is the best tool to create wealth.
Of course.
But again, it's difficult. You have to, I mean, you don't have to go through failures, but you always will have
it's a lot of work. Well, and when you're trying to learn anything, any new skill, it's going to take time. There's going to be some bumps along the way. And so like you did early on, you attached yourself to a mentor to help you expedite that process to success. And you're kind of giving that opportunity to these other investors who are like, here, I'll teach you along the way. You can learn while you earn and avoid these pitfalls that I've already experienced. And so I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
Okay. So like, obviously that I love that vision. what is there a specific need in your business? Are you looking for capital partners? Are you looking for deals in Houston to do this model with? Like, if somebody's watching this and they're a wholesaler and they're looking for deals in Houston, where can they send them to you? Where can they reach out to you if they just want to connect and kind of pick your brain on this strategy? Like social media, Facebook?
Yeah, social media. I want to start I think this is going to be my first YouTube video.
Nice.
Social media is my first name, Liuver with V. V as a Victor, Liuver .Sanudo, Sanudo. So yeah, send me a DM and I can, bro. I've got so much help in this business in my journey that I'm eager to help others. Doing the same.
And I already know about you. You're very, very giving, and aren't expecting anything in return. And I think that's just the community that we built and Pace has built alongside us is really cool to see. So that's awesome, man. Well, thanks so much for coming by and sharing your story. Appreciate you. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until the next one, I will catch you later. Peace.